Hey guys, SweetBananaGaming here, coach of your Orlando Solgaleo, here with our final team builder for PGBL Season 2. That's right, Week 12. This is our final team builder. Even though the previous battle that we had, Week 11, against the South Texas Sableyes, technically at time of recording, it still was not resolved. As far as we never finished the battle after the DC, we never got an official ruling as of right now as what happens. I'm going to kind of assume, and if there's no like ruling from Root, I'm probably just gonna let Vivid have the W because he was basically on the verge of winning anyway. So this will be the last team builder because I'm pretty sure even if our win record like is saved from winning in this last week, I'm not sure. I haven't checked the standings. I think our points, I don't know. Basically, I'm pretty sure we don't have a chance for a playoff slot, which is fine because honestly, with this this season has been kind of rough. I don't as much as I want to do well in this series. It really being done early and not having to do the playoffs is okay with me. So we're gonna try to make the best of it. Enjoy our last battle against the Kentucky Typhlosions. As I said before. A couple weeks ago, this team was, not this team, but the Kentucky Typhlosions were the first team we battled in PGBL Season 1, and the last ones we battled in PGBL Season 1, we battled them in the first round of the playoffs and got knocked out by them. So we're 0 for 2 against Kentucky Typhlosions. This is a different team now, a different set of Pokemon, which, if you just take a look at it, it's my favorite type of team, guys. It's Rain Team. It's Rain Team, my favorite team. Oh, I'm so excited about Rain Team. But anyway, we're gonna, it's actually pretty brilliant because Mega Scizor and Typhlosion are two of MrChabry's like favorites I remember from last season. And, you know, Scizor's one weakness is fire. And how do you get around that? Have rain up. And then, you know, how do you deal if somebody has an answer for that? With the grass type, you just get Typhlosion, set the sunny day. Typhlosion with Z sunny day. I mean, it's a really well-balanced team in terms of strategies. So depending on who he brings, he has a lot of bases covered by just these Pokemon. So I'm gonna go over who I'm bringing. There are a couple of moves I might reconsider, but overall, I'm pretty sure that I'm running these. So let's go ahead and take a look. Actually, I didn't set the EV spreads. That's basically it. Okay, so actually, I'm going to start with Absol because this is the one that I'm a little bit. I'm battling in like an hour or 2 hours or so. So I've got to make this decision quickly. The one thing I'm not sure is with the Absol. I have one of my Jolly ones up here. What I'm not sure is if I should run a naive one instead of Sucker Punch, run either Thunder to go with the whole rain thing going on, or to run Fire Blast. Although against the Mega Scizor, I don't know if I would live a Bullet Punch, and even if I do, I would probably go for a Will-O-Wisp against the Scizor anyway. So, there's a chance I could go with Thunder, but then Sucker Punch could also come in handy in certain cases, but honestly, I don't know. Thunder might be worthwhile in this case, just because I mean, you know, it's common knowledge, I guess, that Absol gets it, but it's not necessarily what you automatically expect. You don't automatically expect mixed offenses in general. And also, this was not the set for you. Hold up, it's something like that. Okay. Anyway, Absol's the one where I'm not totally sure what to run, and that is, but that's where I'm leaning towards, with either Sucker Punch. If not Sucker Punch, I'll run Thunder on it with a naive one so I can be mixed. Anyway, moving on, Naganadel is the same Naganadel. I've tried so hard to have an excuse to not run Naganadel, but it just does too many things against too many other things. As a matter of fact, it's my main answer to Tapu Fini, being in 2-hit KO range for Tapu Fini. So, even the Fairy, it's my best bet against the Fairy. It's my best bet against Dragonite. It's my best bet against Kingdra. it's my best bet against Scizor. It just hits so many things. I've tried not to rely on the Ganondel, but it's just too useful. I can't help it. So anyway, this is the same set I've been running on the Ganondel. Nothing new. Trapinol's gonna try and close us out. And yeah, let's move on to, okay, here's where things get a little bit iffy again. Okay, I want to run Galvantula because we've got that Swift Swim Kingdra over there. So, and Jolteon, which is quite fast regardless. And as for Scizor, it's got priority anyway, and Dragonite is flying type anyway, so with those guys it's not as important, but generally with Kingdra, with Swift Swim, and with Jolteon, and with Typhlosion as a matter of fact, if it's running Z Sunny Day, I want to get Webs up as a possibility. Run Giga Drain in case Quagsire shows up. I can hit the Quagsire. Volt Switch for Pivot. Part of me, I almost ran Thunder Wave instead of Volt Switch, but given that Tapu Fini is around, it could be preventing status, and like I'm gonna have to keep that in mind during the match. I've also got Will-O-Wisp on Absol. I didn't really mention Absol's kind of Will-O-Wisp substitute strategy going on there, but Will-O-Wisp is mainly for the Crocodile, the Dragonite if it's physical, and the Scizor, but I do have to keep in mind that with Tapu Fini around, it could be preventing me from statusing things, which is why I didn't run Thunder Wave, but it's also why with my fourth move, I could run Thunder, or I could run Discharge. My thought, originally the thought with Discharge was, I mean, Thunder's almost 100% accurate on Galvantula thanks to Compound Eyes, and in the rain it'll be 100% accurate, but Discharge has a higher chance of paralysis. It's like 30% instead of 10% or something like that, which could come in handy. But, you know, a couple things to think about. Well, no matter what Electric-type move I run, I have to worry about Quagsire and Jolteon, and with Jolteon's case, I have to worry about it getting HP back from switching in on that. The other thing, again, is Tapu Fini. I won't be able to status things if Tapu Fini gets sent out, so I'm not totally sold on that. Again, the last-minute preparations I'm going to make between now and when the battle is done, those will be those kind of decisions that I make. But that is the rationale for Discharge, though. It's just the higher chance of paralysis. But again, I have to weigh that against, all right, is the extra damage from Thunder worth it, given that I might not be guaranteed to even be able to status things. But there's Galvantula. Either way, Sticky Web is going to come in handy. I know he's got multiple, he's got at least 3, he's got 4, I guess if you include Dragonite, he's got 4 Pokemon that could run Defog. It sounds very familiar. I feel like in Season 1 he had like 4 Pokemon that could Defog as well. Last time I fought him, he had it on his Scizor, but more than likely it'll be on Tapu Fini if he brings it, so if he has it on only 1 Pokemon. I don't know if he'd bring it on more than 1 Pokemon, but I would expect the Tapu Fini to have it, but I know he's run it on Scizor before, so that much I'm aware of. So as far as who I lead with, and he led with Scizor against me last season too, so I might not lead with Galvantula. I don't know. We're gonna have to look at that. But that's the general strategy there. I mean, just in general, Galvantula has good counter to Rain Team, having access to both Giga Drain and Stab electric attacks, the Sticky Web. So that's what Galvantula is here for. All right, we're running my favorite Clefable set with the mixed defenses, Calm, Unaware. Unaware specifically because, well, I suppose in case the Tapu Fini decides it feels like Calm Minding, that's one option. But mostly it's the Dragonite. He's run weakness policy on his Dragonite in the past. It's a good strategy on Dragonite, honestly, because you got multi-scale on Dragonite, so you're tempted to hit it with a super effective attack, usually an ice attack. You won't take it out though, and you'll trigger weakness policy. So, with Clefable doesn't care about that with Unaware. And then like again in my first battle against MrChabry, in Season 1, he had Dragonite, and I wasn't getting anywhere with it, and I went for the Ice Shard. I'm thinking, well, I've got to do this because I've got to hit it with something. Triggered the weakness policy, then he Dragon Danced a couple times and just destroyed my team. So that, with Clefable, that won't be an issue. Now Dragonite has other things for it, and mainly Scizor is a big threat to Clefable, I wouldn't stay in on it, but Clefable otherwise is pretty okay in this case. It doesn't hit Clefable doesn't hit Typhlosion really well, or Vileplume. I guess those are the other two that could cause issues for it, but mainly Scizor is the main threat to it. Anyway, got Moonblast and Moonlight, okay, so, and Cosmic Power. So that middle move, that third move, is where I always kind of swap one thing out for the other. I thought about Thunder Wave, I thought about, like, another coverage move, like a Fire move, potentially. I think I want to go Stealth Rock. Even though I have Lycanroc there, you'll see, I have a different strategy I'm running with the Lycanroc, so I'm going to run Stealth Rock on the Clefable. I'm spreading out my, my moves here a little bit. So Stealth Rock on the Clefable, hopefully getting rocks up again, break the multi-scale for Dragonite, but he is gonna, if he brings the Dragonite, he's gonna keep it in the back until he's sure that hazards are gone. But if I can get it up later in the game, maybe if the Scizor and the Tapu Fini are gone, that would be a good time to set the rocks. Anyway, this is just a decent set for taking hits. I can kind of take hits on both sides. If I'm +1, or especially +2 with the Cosmic Power, I'm basically a wall on both ends. So that is the strategy there with Clefable. Basically same strategy you've seen, but running Stealth Rock. So now here comes the risky plays here, which would be on my Lycanroc here. I have Accelerock, Swords Dance, and Stone Edge, pretty common. I'm gonna run Sandstorm, and this is a tricky, complicated, risky play. However, if done under the right circumstances, it could bring things into my favor. And this is whether he's going Rain with Pelipper or Sun with Typhlosion. I get the Sandstorm up, and either way, it will require him, if he wants to get rid of it, to bring in his Pelipper or to bring in his Typhlosion, and neither one of those two want to take a Stone Edge. So, there are a couple of options I could do. I could either just, we'll go Sandstorm immediately into Stone Edge. If I think a switch is going to happen, Sandstorm, Swords Dance, Accelerock, or Stone Edge. There are a few options there, but that's why I didn't want to run Stealth Rock and Sandstorm. I went for the Swords Dance instead, because I didn't want to put my setup moves, I didn't put all of my, like, hazard slash setup moves slash weather moves on the same Pokemon. So I want to spread it out a little bit. And given I'm Focus Sashed with Lycanroc, I only kind of get one gimmick to play with. I mean, I'm already kind of playing with two gimmicks with the Swords Dance and the Sandstorm, depending on which one's more useful, but I want to make sure I get the Sandstorm up if I can. Now, the negative about this is, again, I'm not running Magic Guard on Clefable, and I'm not running a type on Silvally that will be immune to Sandstorm or benefit from Sandstorm. So I'd have to, it would be a risk for me. However, the amount that it would disrupt his weather strategy would probably be worth it for the residual damage. So, again, it's a risky play, but, the position I'm in this league, I've really got nothing to lose, so I might as well just try for the risky strategies, and, if they don't pay off, they don't. I could fail spectacularly, but if they do pay off, it will be, it'll be nice. It'll be, if I can get it off, it'll be difficult for him to manage, because again, his two weather setters, at least the most likely weather setters, Pelipper is the obvious one, but his other weather setter in Typhlosion, neither one of them wants to take a rock attack from Midna here, so it's a pretty decent strategy. If I can get in on the circumstances, if I can get in with the right circumstances, it'll be nice. Plus, if Sandstorm is up, the Dragonite takes residual damage after it comes in, and I get, breaks the multi-scale, chips away at other things. I mean, granted, Scizor and Crocodile technically benefit from it, but again, it still disrupts his overall strategy well enough that I think it's worth it. Because he also has to be careful with the Sun, if he sets the Sun, as far as he opens up his Scizor to a huge weakness. So it's gonna be interesting. We have 3 potential weather conditions here that will all be warring with each other. So that's gonna be that. So next, last but not least, I have my new favorite Silvally set again with the Modest Silvally. Running Water type this time. Again, I thought about running something that benefited from Sandstorm. The reason for Water, the two things I have to be careful about, I mean, apart from the Vileplume might show up, but I feel like that's one of the less likely ones for him to bring. If I were to think intelligently, he'd probably bring Scizor, Tapu Fini, Pelipper, Kingdra, oh, you know, well, no, he would have to, well, let's see, he'd have to bring, for his Rain Core, he would have to bring Pelipper and Kingdra, and then either Jolteon, Crocodile, and or Quagsire to absorb the electricity, to be immune to electricity. Probably Jolteon or Quagsire just because they gel a little bit better with Rain Team. Probably Jolteon because it's not weak to grass, and it also is immune to electric and benefits from the rain with thunder. That would be probably my first guess at who he would bring. But then again, one of his ground types would be good against Naganadel, so I don't know. That's a little bit of an iffy one, but I think the three that he generally brings, Scizor, Typhlosion, and Dragonite, will probably be there. Then he probably run, I don't know, Pelipper. Maybe he won't bring two dragons, so maybe he won't bring Kingdra. So like Pelipper, Tapu Fini, Jolteon, or Pelipper, Tapu Fini, Quagsire, something like that. Anyway, going back to, oh yeah, and Quagsire can get Water Absorb as well, so that's 2 immunities that Quagsire can have. I do have to keep that in mind, don't I? Regardless, in general, I didn't want to run Flying because like, weak to electric. I'm still weak to electric here, and I do have to be careful if Typhlosion goes into the Z's Sunny Day plus Solar Beam combo. But with that being said, I think overall Water offered me the best resistances. I resist Mega Scizor. I resist a Bullet Punch, which is nice, and because of my defensive investment, I even take a U-turn pretty well. I did think about running something like Steel, so I could resist both Bug and Steel, but this is pretty good. Tapu Fini can't do too much to me. Pelipper certainly can't do too much. I don't think Kingdra's on the special side, so maybe. So the only thing, Jolteon's the main scary thing as far as super effective damage goes, apart from the Typhlosion if Sunny Day is up. But I was deciding, I had 4 potential attacking moves: Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Surf, and Ice Beam, because Ice Beam does a lot to the Dragonite. But I wanted to have Parting Shot on there in case I'm like in there against the Quagsire, let's say, and I want to just Parting Shot out of there. Or even if, well, I can hit the Scizor pretty hard with the Flamethrower, so I might stay in against it. But let's say the rain is up. I might Parting Shot out of the Scizor then instead of going for a Flamethrower, something like that. So I figured that was worth it. The reason for Thunderbolt is that compared to Ice Beam, like so many things kind of, well, actually only 2 of his, 3 of his Pokemon resist Ice Beam. Ice Beam actually hits a decent amount of his Pokemon, but I figured Thunderbolt will hit a lot of things for neutral. I don't know. Now I'm going back a little bit on whether I want to run Ice Beam or not. Because it does hit the Dragonite 4 times. Maybe I will run Ice Beam because I already have electric attacks. Especially if I run Thunder, actually that might be what I do. If I run Thunder on Absol, then I could run Ice Beam, so I can diversify my coverage moves a little bit more. Yeah, because then, okay, Surf hits the Typhlosion, and let's say if Jolteon switches in, not that you would, but it hits Jolteon, it hits Crocodile, and then the only thing is Tapu Fini. Thunderbolt hits Tapu Fini okay, but I would probably swap out into something else for Tapu Fini anyway. Because Thunderbolt's... Solgaleo doesn't hit hard enough for Thunderbolt to really do damage. I guess that's the one thing. I guess that's the thing, reason I was thinking of hanging on to Thunderbolt though, was so Tapu Fini wouldn't totally wall me. But if I had Ice Beam, I could still hit the Crocodile, which I can hit anyway with Surf, and I could hit the Dragonite for serious damage, which might be worth it unless he switches in on it. I don't know. That'll be one of my other like final deliberations. But I think if I run Thunder on Absol, then I could run Ice Beam on Solgaleo maybe. So I'll look into that a little bit more in the hour or so before my battle goes. So, anyway guys, that's gonna do it for the final team builder for us for PGBL Season 2. If you're excited, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, I apologize about last week, the video going up late. You know, we had issues getting it arranged, and then we had the DC, and then it took a while to even hear back from it, and we still haven't heard back as of right now on the status of the result of that battle. I'll just as soon take it as a loss, it's okay, but anyway, I apologize for it being behind schedule. But yeah, this is gonna be it, and then it'll be on to new things. Go on my Discord server if you haven't already. I think most of you have. And I'm gonna be planning a league of my own that I won't be participating in, but I'll just be organizing, and you, the viewers, will get to participate for prizes. But we'll get into more details about that on Discord in the coming weeks, and maybe over the next month. Anyway, in the meantime, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, show your support for your Orlando Solgaleo, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure most of you have, but if you happen to have not subscribed already, I've heard that a majority of my views come from non-subscribers. Probably not on these videos, but on some of my other videos. So if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. And that's gonna do it. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for PGBL Season 2, Week 12, your Orlando Solgaleo versus the Kentucky Typhlosions. See you then.